which is, why should any Christian consider what the Quran has to say about Jesus? Many Christian missionaries sometimes say, why should we believe a book written 600 years later in a different language and in a different country? Although I must point out that they believe in books also written in a different language, namely Greek, whereas Jesus spoke Aramaic/Hebrew, and these Gospels were also written in different countries, such as Rome, the Gospel of Mark, for example.
Hold on. Peace of Christ to all, and let us see how ignorant the Muslims is. He said, why you should believe in a book written in different language, while Jesus, he spoke in Aramaic and Hebrew. So according to you, we should only listen to books which speak in the language which Hebrew and Aramaic. And what is your proof that Jesus did not speak Greek? The Roman were occupying Jerusalem in the time of Jesus, so for sure he speak all those languages. If even his followers they speak them, why he will not? And the question is, or the question he is saying, why we should learn the Quran, the book who came 600 years after Jesus, as if this is the only problem we have. Muhammad, he came with the book, have no witness of any what he said. He have no person who can back up him wherever he say, and yet you believe Muhammad over those who they are in the time of Jesus. Same time, that is a total contradiction with the Quran, because the Quran said, we never send a messenger, but yet he speak in the tongue of his people. And we just heard you saying that Jesus spoke languages, not only the language of his people. If we go to the Quran, we will find this. In chapter 14, verse number 4, it says, we never send a messenger, but in the language and the tongue of his people. And you confirm to us that Jesus spoke languages, and you confirm to us that Muhammad, he spoke only one language. That's mean Jesus, the Muslim, they say Jesus is only for the children of Israel. That's what they say. The Quran says that Allah, he never sent a messenger, but yet he speak the language of his own people so they might understand. So he have to be from the people, and he have to speak the language of the people. That's mean when the Muslims they say to us Muhammad is international prophet, and I'm not going to discuss now what is the qualification of Muhammad to be even a prophet. I mean, when we say if Muhammad is a prophet or not, are we talking about a child molester? Are we talking about a thief? Are we talking about a criminal? Or we are talking about a person who say prophecy? Muhammad have no prophecy. Muhammad is a criminal. Muhammad was accused even of stealing underwear from his followers. Muhammad, he have fight with his wives over and sleeping with other women in his bed. So if we look at Muhammad, we will see that Muhammad not qualified anyway to be a messenger. Secondly, a messenger of God, he should not say statement which is contradicting what he claimed. If you read here, we send not a messenger except in the language of his people. Between two the bracket is not exist in the Quran. In the language of his people. So Muhammad cannot be a prophet for all mankind, because the Quran says in different verse that we send you as a messenger for all the world. So that is a contradiction, and the Quran itself says if this book is not from God, you will find a lot of contradictions in it, right? This is why the book of the Quran do not remember, or the author of the Quran, which one, he don't remember which one he created first, the grass and the trees and the mountains, or the sun and the stars. In every verse he says the opposite. You go to chapter 79, you read, you find that chapter 79 is speaking about the opposite what is written in chapter 41. So the Quran confirmed that Allah never ever sent, at least until the time of Muhammad, because remember this is a verse Muhammad he received in his time. We never send the messenger except in the language of his people, which means he will send him from the people to the people. And then we will see this funny guy continuing saying that the name of Muhammad can be located in the Bible. Read and laugh.
example. One of the reasons Christians should accept the Quran is because the Bible commands you to. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse number 18, God speaks about raising a prophet from the brethren of the Israelites who will be like Moses, and he will also be a mouthpiece for God. And any person who does not listen to this prophet will be destroyed.
I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brothers.
All right. So he is going to be from amongst their brothers. Is Muhammad from the Jews, Abdul? If we take this verse and we compare it with the Quran, and I hope you will not say to me the Quran is a corrupt book, with the verse which we just showed you already, which is saying that I never send a messenger except from the people speaking the language of the people. Do Muhammad speak Hebrew? Do Muhammad was Muhammad from the Jews and he speak the language of the Jews? So you Muslims, you are like just beating in the bushes trying to find a place for your prophet. You know, the Muslims, the way I see them, I'm not insulting, I'm saying it as it is. It's the same as a whore trying to find an honor. So she could not find her honor in her house, she tried to find it to be a relative to somebody else. So what she do, she say, this guy, he is a famous guy, he is my cousin. And now the Muslim trying to make Muhammad is the brothers of the Jews when he is the one who killed the Jews. And the Quran says it clearly, in order to be a prophet for any nation, you have to be from the nation and speaking the language of the nation. So are you saying to me, Muslims, that the Quran is a stupid book and Allah don't mean what he say? And when he say, I never ever sent, never a messenger except speaking the language of his people. And what is the reason? The reason makes sense according to Quran, in order to make it clear for them. So how stupid the Muslims to say that the Old Testament is speaking about Muhammad and he is the one who spoke to the Jews when Muhammad do not speak the language of the Jews and he is not from the nation of the Jews as the Quran says. Then we have to say the Quran must be wrong and fabricated. And this is the only way we can make the verse work for the Abdul. I'm not going to discuss the stupidity it's mentioned there. Like, you know, even later he says that Muhammad is the comforter, which is additional proof that Muslims are dumb, the same as their prophet. Because if you claim that Jesus is going to send Muhammad as the comforter, that means Jesus is the God of Muhammad. And this is how stupid the Muslims, and this is why they always repeat themselves.
I will put my words in his mouth, and he will tell them everything I command him. If anyone does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name, I myself will call him to account.
This prophecy was not fulfilled before Jesus, as the Dead Sea Scrolls and the New Testament confirm. Moreover, Jesus cannot be this prophet, as Deuteronomy chapter 34 verse number 10 says, and there shall never arise again in Israel a prophet like unto Moses.
You see, this cannot be Jesus, because he is quoting for us a verse that says there is no prophet has risen to Israel like Moses. But this is in the time of that verse is quoted. It says since then. Since then. Do you know how to read, Muslims? Same time, from Israel, in Israel. Are you blind, Abduls? In Israel. Is Muhammad from the nation of Israel? Let us continue.
Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face.
And since Jesus was from amongst Israel, he is ruled out. Moreover, Jesus himself said,
hold on, guys. As long Jesus is from the nation of Israel, he is ruled out. Let me get this Abdul busted and let us see what other Abdul says. Laugh with me, please. This is Nu'man Khan who have a scandal with Aisha lately. Let us see what Nu'man Khan he says about this, and let us laugh together.
Jesus said, وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى ibn Maryam, when Jesus the son of Mary said, Ya Bani Israel, sons of Israel. Sons of Israel. Now what did he not say? What did Moses say that Jesus didn't say? Okay, so Moses says
Let me go back a little bit.
entirely an oral tradition. So that's one small example.
All right. Let us laugh again.
The nobility given to Jesus in the Quran. I'll give you one remarkable example of it. Which nation was Moses sent to? The Israelites. Everybody knows that? The Israelites. Who's the original audience of Jesus? The same nation or no? The Israelites also? Yes. Okay. Now, Surah number 61, As-Saf. There's one ayah dedicated to Moses addressing his nation. And the next ayah is dedicated to Jesus addressing his nation. Keeping in mind that both of them, even though there's a big time gap between them, essentially are addressing which nation? The Israel.
Remember here that this guy Nu'man Khan, who is a fabricated as the rest of the Muslims, they are copy paste from other people. He just said that Moses addressing his nation and Jesus is addressing his nation. So the Muslims, they are saying that Jesus nation is the Israeli people. But this guy, the one before him, he said we rule Jesus out because the verse says since then there's no prophet was raised. But he forgot that this verse written long before Jesus. The verse he's quoting for us is written long before Jesus. So how you know it's not fulfilled? You crazy man. Now look what Nu'man Khan he would say, which is going to make it more funny and more stupid for them, not for me.
Israelites, they're the same nation. Okay. Now listen carefully. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ يَا قَوْمِ. When Moses said to his nation, begin quote, my nation, addressing them with what words? What was the first words used to address them? My nation. Ya qawmi, my nation. Okay, let's come to what Jesus said. وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى ibn Maryam. When Jesus the son of Mary said, Ya Bani Israel, sons of Israel. Sons of Israel. Now what did he not say? What did Moses say that Jesus didn't say? Okay, so Moses says my nation, but Jesus says sons of Israel. Now, sons of Israel is another term used for the Israelites, isn't it? Or the children of Israel. You know what we learned from that in Semitic tradition and in Arab tradition, as was carried originally by Abraham also, identity was given by the father. The nation itself is named after who? Not the mother, but the father, Israel himself. And actually in
question, as long identity was given by the father, so how Muhammad became the son of Ishmael if Ishmael is the son of Abraham and he is an Aramaic? How the person who his father is Aramaic, his mother is Egyptian, he became the father of the Arab? We just heard this guy saying identity was given by the father. This is how the fictions of Islam is contradicting itself. The Muslim, they say that Ishmael he learned Arabic at the age of 11, and he did marry from a tribe which is the enemy of the tribe of Muhammad. There was a tribe who lived in Mecca before Muhammad tribe, and the tribe of Muhammad killed many of them and kicked them out. So Ishmael cannot be the father of Muhammad according to Islamic books, for he is not only from the Arab, he just married an Arabic woman according to your tradition, and not only that, he married from the enemies of Muhammad tribe. So there is no way the descendant of Muhammad, or the descendant of Ishmael will be from the tribe of Muhammad, for Ishmael he married from the enemies of Muhammad tribe. Now remember here, identity was given by the father, and my coming question will be, who is the father of Jesus? And this is what this guy is going to tell us. Hold on.
in the Quran, all of humanity are called children of, not Eve, but Adam, because identity, nation, is defined by the father. And this is natural in most societies. The last name is given through the father. The father's name is acquired, even though there are exceptions. Now, what I'm trying to get at is, to be from a nation, your father should be from that nation. Isn't that obvious?
Remember, to be from that nation, your father should be from that nation. Ishmael is not from the Arab, but Muhammad is from the nation of Ishmael, and he is an Arab. All right, continue.
To be from a nation, it's only expected that your father should be from that nation. So when Moses says, my nation, what's he actually saying? That my father is from among you. But Jesus, never in the Quran do we find him say my nation. Never. Every time he addresses them, what does he say? Sons of Israel. Now, why would he never say my nation? Because he doesn't have a father. He's of miraculous birth of the Virgin.
Thank you. So Jesus, he's speaking to the Israeli, saying to them, "Oh, the children of Israel, the same as your God, he speak to them because he is their God." Why Jesus, according to your statement, cannot be considered from Israel? Because he have no father from Israel. So where he is from? Everybody have to be from somewhere. That is Jesus, who is the Word of God, who came on earth, and he is the God of the Jews. So when he speak to the Jews, he speak to them as Lord. When Moses speak to the Jews, and this is from your mouth, I'm condemning you, he speak to them saying my nation. Jesus don't say to them my nation, he say children of Israel, for he is their Lord. And this is what Jesus did when he asked the Jews, what do you say of the Messiah, the Christ? They said he is the son of David. Jesus said, how you say he is a son of David if David called him Lord? So even David called the Messiah, the Christ, Lord. So there's many contradiction in the stories of the Muslims believe. The Muslims are so desperate trying to find something unique about their religion, but the fact they forgot that Muhammad himself was a maid of collection of religions: Judaism, Christianity, Hindu, and the Persian, the fire worshippers, and the Sabians. And this is why Muhammad is so much confused about what he say. So he took from the Christians that Jesus is a son of a virgin. He took from the Jews some stories about Moses. He took from the Jews the legions of the Jews, like the flying carpet of Moses, and the flying horse of Moses, and the ant, the flying carpet of Solomon, and Solomon speaking to the ant. And then he took a lot of stupid stories from here and there, like the seven sleepers, which is from the Christian heritage. And I call it stupid stories because Muhammad, he is making it look so stupid. Always the thief, when he copies stories, he make it look stupid. So now the question is, why only Jesus in the Quran he did not say, "Oh my people"? Because he have no father. Then we have to ask questions. Why Jesus has no father? What the point? I mean, is that going to be an insult for Jesus to have a father? Is that will not make him qualified to be a prophet? Obviously all the prophets before Jesus, they have a father. And not only that, Muhammad, he have fathers which the Quran consider them najis, because Muhammad, he says those who they are mushrikeen, they are najis. And Muhammad, father and mother, both of them, they are mushrikeen, which mean they are both, according to the Quran, najis, which means filthy. So why Muhammad, he have a filthy parents, but Jesus have no father? Unless he is not from this earth. And this is why he is calling the Jews, O children of Israel. Let us listen and love more.
Mary, the Quran refuses to accept a human father for Jesus, saying sons of Israel. Subhanallah.
All right. So the Quran refuses to accept Jesus having a human father. So even Adam cannot be considered as the father of Jesus. This is how crazy this religion. They just admitted that Jesus is God. And I advise you Muslims, when you look for your prophet to be a prophet, don't look for his name in my book. As an example, I just have a little chat with the Muslims who told me the name of his prophet appear in Isaiah 29, which is obviously verses speaking about false teachers, and he just said that this is a prophecy about his prophet, and that's showing us that Muslims are really out of their mind. They are so desperate to find an honor for a person who has no honor, a child molester, a criminal, a thief, a liar, and a false prophet who made many false prophecy. As an example, one of them, that God created us from a congealed blood. As an example, one of them, that women have a sperm coming from her ribs, and man have a sperm coming from his bones. As an example, as one of them, that in heaven, or sorry, the judgment day is near and the moon is split. And all of us, we knew that the judgment day did not come yet, and he mentioned that 1400 years ago, and the moon is not split. We can look at it, and this is absolutely a false prophecy, and many more false prophecies made by the false prophet, the criminal Muhammad. Follow my videos. If you like what you see, please feel free to contact me if you have a questions. If you have a Muslim you would like to debate me, please feel free to make a challenge and to do it. Christ is Lord and Islam is false. Amen to that. Thank you very much.